Have you ever wondered why we often overlook the quiet signals our body sends, the ones that whisper rather than shout, urging us to pay attention before it's too late? Many of us live in a world obsessed with instant feedback, immediate results, and visible proof that everything is okay. We assume that if we feel fine right now, there is nothing to worry about. But life, and the body in particular, has a more subtle way of teaching us lessons. Internal injuries after sexual activity are one of the most underestimated examples of this reality. The truth is that damage can occur silently, without pain, without visible signs, and yet still carry consequences if ignored. Imagine a scenario where you feel completely normal after intimacy, only to experience subtle, almost unnoticeable changes days later. Slight pelvic pressure, minor cramps, or a small change in discharge that barely draws attention. These signals are your body's way of speaking to you, and it is up to us to learn the language. Dr. Francisco Javier Ampudia-Blasco emphasizes that understanding anatomy is not just a medical concern, it is a form of empowerment. Knowledge allows us to see the invisible, to recognize patterns, and to act proactively rather than reactively. Just as a river carves its path slowly through stone, unnoticed injuries accumulate silently if left unchecked. And by the time the signs become obvious, the process has often advanced further than we would hope. The key is awareness. It's about paying attention to what feels different, however minor, and respecting the complexity of the body's internal systems. Every tissue, every fold, every delicate structure has a role, and when one part experiences stress, even subtly, it can ripple throughout the system. Think about the way life teaches lessons. The most profound insights rarely arrive with a loud bang. They arrive as a whisper, a nudge, a quiet reminder. Similarly, the body communicates with subtlety. By learning to recognize these quiet signs, we not only prevent larger complications, but also cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves. Silence is not always empty. Sometimes it is a messenger. To dismiss it is to miss an opportunity for growth, protection, and empowerment. As you continue to navigate life and relationships, remember that vigilance is not fear, and care is not weakness. It is intelligence. Internal awareness, like self-reflection, builds resilience. The moments when you feel completely fine may be the moments that require the most attentive observation, because what goes unseen can sometimes be the most important of all. Every person who listens, observes, and takes action demonstrates the courage to face what is not immediately apparent and the wisdom to prevent future hardship. Understanding the possibility of silent internal damage is not meant to alarm. It is meant to enlighten, to inspire an approach to health and intimacy that is intentional, informed, and compassionate, showing respect for the body's subtle yet powerful voice. Now, imagine the hidden world inside your body, where every movement, every interaction, even the gentlest touch, can leave an imprint that is not immediately visible. It's easy to assume that the absence of pain or discomfort is proof of safety, but the reality is far more intricate. Internal damage can develop quietly, slowly, and sometimes almost imperceptibly, like shadows creeping along the edges of a room, unnoticed until they reach a point where their presence can no longer be ignored. The truth is that the body often prioritizes survival over signaling, masking minor injuries until they become harder to overlook. This is why knowledge, preparation, and attentiveness are essential tools in the journey of self-care and well-being. Dr. Francisco Javier Ampudia-Blasco reminds us that understanding anatomy is not merely academic. It is practical wisdom that transforms how we interact with our own bodies. By recognizing the vulnerabilities of delicate tissues, the potential consequences of dryness, rough movement, hormonal fluctuations, or subtle inflammation, we equip ourselves with the ability to act before a small problem becomes a serious one. The suspense lies in the fact that these internal injuries can remain hidden for days, even weeks, creating a silent narrative of damage that continues without interruption. You may wake up one morning feeling a faint pressure, a subtle twinge, or notice an irregularity in your body that had gone entirely unnoticed. It is in these moments of revelation that the importance of mindfulness becomes undeniable. The human body is a sophisticated, self-regulating system, but it is not invincible. It asks only for attention, for observation, for responsiveness. To ignore its quiet signals is to gamble with a risk that can be entirely preventable. This is not meant to instill fear, but to inspire proactive care, to encourage each individual to view their health as a living dialogue rather than a static state. By observing the small signs, acting on discomfort, and seeking guidance when needed, we honor the complexity and intelligence of our own physiology. Awareness is the bridge between ignorance and mastery, between vulnerability and empowerment. Each subtle symptom is a reminder that our bodies are not merely passive vessels. They are active participants in the narrative of our lives, speaking in the language of sensation, pressure, and movement. To understand this language, to interpret it accurately, is to take ownership of our health in the truest sense. As Dr. Francisco Javier Ampudia-Blasco has demonstrated, the pursuit of knowledge about our internal systems is an act of courage, a conscious decision to respect the unseen processes that sustain life and intimacy. By cultivating this awareness, we not only prevent harm, but also enhance our capacity for connection, pleasure, and self-respect. The hidden dangers are not insurmountable. They are challenges to be met with intelligence, care, and attentiveness. When you listen to your body, respond to its subtle cues, and embrace the wisdom that comes from understanding, you transform vulnerability into strength and uncertainty into clarity. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.